Welcome back, everybody. It's Adam from Two for Joy. And before we start today, I just want to say thank you to everybody for getting involved in the comments, liking and subscribing. If you're new around here, make sure you get down there. Give me a sub. We're on the road to 1,000. It's so nice to hear everybody in the comments actually offering up debate, proper fan debate about how things are going for Newcastle and their opinions. And it's a safe space. Anybody who starts in the comments being a knob, you'll get the flick. But today, to start off with, there's a lot of controversy within the YouTube community around Newcastle and about the whole Eddie Howe in, Eddie Howe out saga. I don't want to touch on that. I understand people's opinions on players being played out of position. Personally, you know my opinion. Nick Voltemade is not a number 8. Eddie Howe in his press conference last night saying he thinks Nick had an okay game after coming back from illness, but probably not his best performance. But he turned around and said that Eddie said that he will have better games in that position. Personally, I don't believe that's true. I don't believe that Nick Voltemade should be playing as a number 8 in this Newcastle team. I don't think he's good enough compared to the midfielders that we have. Obviously, there's some contention around Joel Linton not being fit enough to start yesterday, Anthony Gordon not being fit enough to start yesterday, and us going out of the cup against Manchester City, an onslaught for 70 minutes. It's a difficult one to take because obviously Manchester City are a better squad than us. They've made 10 changes and their second string are managing to play us off the park. But that's not what I'm interested in. What I'm interested in is our running in the Premier League to the end of the season. And I want to take Barcelona out of the equation because realistically it's a free hit in the Champions League. We've never made it this far before. We're playing one of the most esteemed, prestigious clubs in world football. A top team from Spain, steeped in history, who have much more experience of dealing with the high-pressure stakes of the Champions League than we do. If Newcastle can manage to pull something out of that, fantastic. If we get knocked out, it's not disgraceful to get knocked out by Barcelona in the knockout stages of the Champions League. So, basically, getting on to it, our run-in till the end of the season. I'll put these fixtures up so you can see them, but basically what I want you to do is tell me how many points you think we will get from these 9 games and then add that to our current 39 points and give me a points total and a predicted finish for the end of the season. So we'll start off the 9 games that we have. Chelsea away, Sunderland at home in the derby, Crystal Palace away, Bournemouth at home, Arsenal away, Brighton at home, Notts Forest away, West Ham at home, and then the final game of the season, Fulham away. And basically I'll show you, because I found on OPTA the predicted league table for the Premier League at the 38 game point. OPTA, the supercomputer, predicts that Newcastle will finish 10th on 51 points, which would be, by my calculations, tell me if I'm wrong, but it would be that Newcastle get 3 wins, 3 draws and 3 losses before the end of the season, and a finish of 51 points. Personally, that's not what I think. That's not where I think we'll finish. I did run through each of the games and give a score and then ask it to predict where we would finish if my predictions were correct. And it came out that Newcastle would finish 13th on 47 points. And I picked that Newcastle would get 2 wins, 2 draws and 5 losses from the final running of games based on our home form and our away form this season. And I'll give you a run through of what I think. But I really like to hear from everybody in the comments. Well, 1, whether you think I'm wrong, and 2, the amount of points you think Newcastle will get and where that will finish us in the predicted table. It'll be interesting to see whether we're as divided as a fan base for the Eddie Howe in and out saga as we are for where our predicted league finish will be. But I believe Newcastle, we will lose away to Chelsea. I think we'll win the derby against Sunderland. I think that's a massive game that we have to win. So I think that one, the players will be right up to correct the wrongs of earlier in the season. I think Crystal Palace away will be a draw. I think Bournemouth at home will be a draw. I think Arsenal away will be a loss. I think Brighton at home will be a win. And this is the dicey bit. I think Notts Forest away we will lose. I think West Ham we could possibly lose. And I think Fulham away we will lose. And the reason I've gone with this kind of stout finish to the end of the season is I believe that Nottingham Forest and West Ham, by the time we get to that 36th, 37th game, these guys are going to be really under pressure to get wins in the Premier League. And I think desire to stay in this league will see certain teams through games. They will have more to play for than we will. And by the time we hit that final game at Fulham, I've got a feeling that our players, like we saw last season, mentally they might be on the beach and ready for their holiday already, seeing as there's nothing to play for. So, like I say, let me know in the comments. It's been really interesting to see everybody's point of view on all topics, but I don't want to get into the Eddie Howe in and out. Realistically, I know as a fan base we're divided. I understand the points of view of both sides. Eddie's done a lot for us since he's been here, but obviously every manager has their expiry date. Every manager's time comes, and I think as a community we need to understand that we are all in it together. We all want Newcastle to win every week, and if Eddie Howe was to turn that round and give us a run of 7 wins out of 9, we'd be ecstatic. But realistically, we have to stay grounded and keep our eye on the prize. But what do you think would be a good finish for Newcastle in the Premier League? Would you take reaching the semi-final or a final of a Champions League by miracle and finishing 15th in the Premier League? Or would you prefer Newcastle to focus on the Premier League and try and get some form of Europe before the end of the season, whether that's Conference League or Europa League? Let me know in the comments. Let me know your points. And hopefully, guys, I will see you in the next one.